A casual effect to greed no more. The high price of living costs. A constant containment of price. Lost and go figure what's that got to do with the market rate of fish. For as a soul in sacrifice, and so do our forever exchange rates through the roof. Ah, touche, namaste, Gwendolyn, and who is Ray really? Amen. True blue reflections as blown up by the swordfish through the rising height of price in cost. All as one, one for all in one, one being the all, as one cited by the height of living costs through price as retained in swordfish. By the working team of four, the man in charge, the sun beneath, the sun above, as well as our lady, good customer. The high price of living costs. Within the indeterminate facts of what the actual fuck is this that I currently exist in, then so forth is there a fresh print to expand out in the digital currency of now known to be the life of price reality. For you see, that which is always on the rise is living cost as contained in the life of price as it raises up through the markets of what's that got to do with the price of fish. So if we look at it now like this, then the life of price in fish is actually quite hard to say, unless we stick it on the nose of what a thing is to be known through now precisely saying how it is, which should then switch to announcing that the rushing around longest knowing of what a thing actually is would be the swordfish, which contains not only the natural cost of living as a general in charge of conspiracy as a result of being also truly that which blew up bubbles of truth over a rainbow fish as a life of price that then fluctuate in our given day and age climate to reduce steam down to a constant reflection of the do you see what I'm trying to say bed as our atmosphere formed not only true blue but also with all the colours of all the rainbow as the life of price in swordfish rates fluctuate to each advantageous jest of bubbles blown to immediately affect the constant rate of this is already a shambles, to say at the least. Yet, and in the high temperament ceiling fan, the dissolution of price in life is a result of a now known married mirage to always make stable the financial rate of give and take, as serviced by the exact regressive income rate of each event in the coming living cost as set in the high price as a result to currency then being exchanged for more ammunition, to say at the least. But as a natural response, the living price suggests that alone is the base rate sum of always proportion to not only the past market rates of each own foreign exchange in price, but also the future expectancy of cost of living in the always rising price. So as a result, I now think you see what I'm trying to say. Which is that without cost in own price given as the living consumption rate of each age's invent in the price of living, then there would be no individual markets, so therein, as the constant exchange rate of information as transgressed through the life of price, then there would be no spinning world, for we all currently know the world spins often from honey, where as a set rate, the life of always spiking up and down price eventually goes through the roof, and all individualized embodiments of price come crashing down to halt, where new age technology is placed to form a give and take model around the now figureless constant of cost in the price of living, which would suggest that I am still confused. For let's say I am the living cost to high price. Then so am I paid for in price and by price as a constant rate of exchange in each own inputted market rate as exposed to the high heat of consumption as the life of price goes through the roof as it raises in give and take, push and pull to that which is the living cost of and to each rise of and in price, so to now and then suggest that this makes no actual sense unless you now refer to the influx in foresight being as the price was always set to rise over time in the living cost coming to expand at a steady rate to nail the markets. To nail the markets all closed. where then the rate of what the actual fuck is this all about to take place globally as the life of price then comes crashing down from through the roof and mounts the living costs spiking in attention, the detail found within to steady as she blows it to then form one whole global currency, which as no coincidence is the current in do you see what is going on here? For then I do say that without the living cost there would simply be no price to always rise. So there then, that which is nailed home in the price is always now set right in the fish market for the swordfish to appear as the highest exchange rate of individual aspect ratio in producing the whole dollar figure of knows absolutely what this has to do with a thing about the actual life that is high price in living costs as the extending knowing of the swordfish, for as a double-edged sword, the swordfish pokes in and out of rectangular jellyfish to set the expunge rate of price in life through that which is the cost affordability in each constant rising annual or periodical price where set is the price in life to always be right as on the fish market. So what does this actually got to do with you and me? Well, you see that without cost there would be no rate to the price rising in and as the swordfish expunged on the market, so therefore cost of price in life could never increase, which would be a major problem to revenue raisers, for without living costs there would be simply no price. So there then, as a result, the knowing knows of what a thing is, the swordfish could never be contained in the living cost as the high price which rises through increasing amounts of volume in swordfish is set in the cost of life as to be the living price of each financial period in the opening and closing of New Year Old market, where in the end the financial rate is already set to expose cost through the rising price as the extremes of swordfish knowing what this here has to do with a thing becomes a set rate of always coming living cost as the price of high, which lives to always raise up the whole global market into one whole collective and shared no currency mead or currency free independence. For the cost has been seen as exchange rates plummeting in the rising of price as a known thing of what does this actually got to do with the price of fish, if not to now be seen as the fishiest cent in actual price as the said set coming up and through the water swordfish, who remember blew up our atmosphere as true blue in ocean's reflection of all the colours in the sky through the rainbow fish being encapsulated around a swordfish's bubble to one day pop and release the final figure of the apparent living cost in you and also I through the rising heat in living with the life of high price burning on the inside as the digested knows a thing or two swordfish becomes now consumed by all and each own individual market to only pop holes and then where the markets crash, leaving now a new currency. As in, can you not see that the life of price reality rises that much on the living costs and bursts all financial markets and exchange rates, setting a new budget in the now day and age expenditure of living freely through knowing actual living costs as the apparent to life, which was always the rising in periodical life events as high price expectancy. So to now say that within this is the soup, the jelly, and the bread and butter sticks, that as a whole conform not only our current situation but also the rate of expectancy in price of swordfish exceeding the general, always giving it a red hot go living costs, an absolute fundamental in time to exhaust all rational set in fluctuation budget to rapidly and drastically expose just what the bloody hell am I actually saying? Blah, blah, blah. All I hear is black sheep, white sheep, and ready or not, here I come, which as a result, I am just not bloody listening to your crap no more, for you are through the roof, buddy. Exactly. I am the rising price in the known now cost of living to life as a set base rate in exchange of rising climatic conditions as set by the blob of swordfish swimming in the currency, so therein As a result of indeterminate facts, the constant rate of threshold, in realizing there is more actually going on here than just money and frequency of exchange rates appearing in the living costs through the rising heightened price of each age known through history, whereas a mainstream, now common influx in life of a set rate in cost than a life of high price reality forms in the living costs as the actual amount of independent, figureless stations, or more so, known as features, which is to then say, busted is the fluctuation in hindsight, as given to now be taken beyond normal is the life of and in price that remains rested in all of us through the inner living cost to each own individual as a result of coming to wonder what's that or this got to do with the price of actual giving a fuck about swordfish, where then the said set rate of swordfish in our lives becomes known in due measure over time of price increase in living costs of as that which resides in each to their own chosen financial gender, which as a nowadays baby says, a goo goo gaga, a goo goo gaga, goo goo. Then so do I think you get what I mean, that without the living costs raising in price as a life set in fluctuation balance in time of each independent market, then so would the underbelly never form around the baby born to gaga goo. So therein, first, the costs must be set in the rate of swordfish appearing in the rising high price of life to measure the general give and take of each in fluctuation of baby born's temperature around now the reduced rate of income. So as a crude measure, price ceases to hold as a result of cost in swordfish, which is invested in each own market as the individualized cost of living in and of each one of us as the price rises in living costs, to set in us the new general price reality, that is right of which we each come to afford through the living costs, which now it is said.
What the actual fuck, Trav? Are you on the money hunt or something? Are you beat broke and trying to exchange rates of swordfish through rising high price and living costs? Or are you fundamentally rooted in investment of spiking rates in your own given day and age temperament to reduce favour in trade of the living costs as a set in and of the living prices gained around collateral in the price of swordfish as always right, for it simply knows what a thing is? Or are you just a cooked mud crab?
Matey, just calm down for a minute, would you? For I am a blue manna crab that is not yet even close to being slightly cooked, for I have come to surpass living cost in being one with high price as the actual what gives a fuck about the reduced rate of all prior and future investment in swordfish. So therein, I am just pissed that it had to be like this. Though now I think we are all seeing eye to eye with what this actually means.
Ah, touche. I absolutely comprehend what you are saying, Trav. That without living cost, there would have never been high price of reality to rise in time through the roof as the increasing rate of swordfish to become invested in living costs as an actual fact of business, and also that the living cost found to be by each of us individually is based around the rising price in our own set budget of general affordability in invest of self alone investment to see what this all has to do with the high price of swordfish. For as lost for as cost always rises the price, then so does the swordfish come to fluctuate in and through each own market of establishment in cost, which raises in price as an absolute reflection of the periodical event structure of the financial release of each own market, which then collapses through the rising high price of swordfish through the roof as living cost fluctuates the natural give and take to then be consciously placed on own whole, financially free or more so, currency reduced intake system that let alone repairs the investment in life as built around now exposed living costs through the said and done height of price.
Yes, that is pretty much correct. So Now if we can pretend to look at it like this. The yellow sun is the rising price. The living cost is the tide in set said currency as formed naturally by gravity, and the swordfish is that which flows through tide as the sun shines to increase penetration of the atmosphere, where the swordfish comes to blow up another bubble through the up and down tide to reduce the effects of the rising yellow sun height as it shines a light, to then all of this now be placed in a bowl of soup, jelly, and word of mouth. For the tide rising, the expectancy of the life of yellow sun, rising in rays of speculation into that which floats your boat, reducing effect through admitting a new form of true blew it all up right there, did I not? Ha 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 ha. You all know who I am really. I'm that which just is, the raiser of price, as the living cost exceeds in eye, due to my love for swordfish.
So basically, what is going on here is, seeing as Trav loves his exceedingly good looking swordfish, in digesting enough of its flesh, then so as a result, the living cost of his life increases and attracts or raises in him high price reality, such as the general way of living as abiding by the living cost in front of the raised price through the roof, to then come in Trav at a high cost of living with his love, the swordfish. Nice try, Trav. Your bloody big lips are sealed, dickhead. Perfect run and final placement, mate. Perfect touchdown, you jackass.
Why, thank you, and thank you for watching. Namaste and Gwandalan. Peace and joy.